Coming up on 408 in the Valley, good to have you with us live and local for a Wednesday. It is the 700-pound elephant in the room. It is the subject that everybody knows about, but you won't find it on a Convention and Visitors Authority brochure. It's something that Las Vegas is becoming infamous for, and it's called human trafficking. Human trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery, and it is right here in Las Vegas. A couple of different organizations are involved in trying to stem the tide of human trafficking here in Las Vegas. Vegas Youth Ambassadors, alongside the GoTo Foundation, are conducting a human trafficking forum on Friday, 6 p.m., and I think this is immensely important because it is a problem, and it's a growing problem in our community. Joining us now is Kimmy Monaco, the owner of Battleborn Krav Maga, and Chantelli Harless, the founder of the Vegas Youth Movement here in Las Vegas, and both join us in studio. Chantelli, first of all, thanks for joining us. How big a problem is this? I know we saw just in the last week or so a couple of specials on some of the local TV channels about human trafficking. Can you talk a little bit about how big a problem this is?
It's a big problem. It's in our schools. It's in your neighbors. It's all over the place. It's sexual. It's workforce related. A lot of people are forced into it or manipulated into it. And it's hitting as young as 12 years old is what they're finding locally. 12-year-olds being forced into human trafficking.
And Kimmy, is this a problem where kids are, is it recruited, or is it a matter of through circumstances they just happen into this thing?
Circumstances. These people are looking for victims. They're looking for a certain type. Waiting at bus stations. Girls coming into town. It's everywhere. Schoolyards, malls. It's everywhere. They're looking for a certain type.
And the event on Friday, Chantelli, what's it going to be about? It begins at 6 o'clock. Where's it going to be? And what kind of panel are you going to have?
We actually have some victim survivors that will be coming and talking and sharing their stories. One of them, her name is Sarah Jane, and she's the founder of Dream with SJ Ministry. And what she does is she goes in and she helps girls and youth who have been forced into human trafficking and help them find their way out and to help them rehabilitate it, because it's so derogatory on their self-esteem and trying to overcome something that's so harsh to them. We'll also have a few other speakers, and then Jonathan Simon from Las Vegas Police Department will be coming, and he's going to talk to our youth about the elements to look for, especially on pimps, how they work and manipulate into the mind of young kids, where they search for them. There's a grooming phase where sometimes they'll become their boyfriends, and they bestow the trust upon them and their families, and then slowly pull them away from their families and force them into drugs or scare them by watching them witness a horrific acts of violence, and then promise those acts of violence upon their family if they don't participate and do what they are told to do. So we're going to educate them on what to look for to not become a victim.
And I know you mentioned, Chantelli, that this is not just a sexual thing. Talk about how this works relative to the workplace, to where they're literally pushed into a form of slavery.
A lot of people want to come to the U.S. because they want a better life. So they are promised jobs, work as nannies, or to come in and work on our farms. And then what the people do is confiscate their identity, their passports, and then they keep them locked up in housing and force them to work. But the people who get trafficked never earn their keep to become free. So they're constantly are being told, you have to work what it costs us to provide for you every month, but then they get paid so little that they never work it off, and then they're stuck in a foreign country and with nowhere to go, and they are scared and they have no way out.
Chantelli talked about foreign nationals, but do kids get recruited in our own schools? Are there kids from Henderson that become victims of human trafficking, North Las Vegas, Las Vegas?
All of them. And they're recruiting in middle schools, schoolyards, malls is the biggest thing also here in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is one of the biggest cities for human trafficking, San Francisco being one of the other ones. We are a hub. And it's really scary, and the awareness that, these children, we do Krav Maga, and we teach our kids in our kids classes awareness and being aware of our surroundings at all times. And it's amazing how many children, grown-ups are not aware of what's going on, and that's the big thing. And so we joined forces together because Chantelli is such an amazing person in her organization, and I wanted to be a part of it. And so it's such an eye-opener. Embracing Project, Esther Brown, who heads that whole thing, and she's in charge of that as far as human trafficking victims are concerned. People need to understand what's going on out there and be aware of what's going on. It's not just, that's never going to happen to me because of girls that are in a bad situation. Some of these girls are college students, come from good homes, fathers and mothers that are in the home. And it's just that they don't understand that these guys are coming in, and it's painting this beautiful picture, wanting to be their boyfriend and acting like everything's great, and then all of a sudden, and that's the grooming stage.
Chantelli, we talk about the schools. Clark County School District, are they aware of the problem? Are they helping you in any way?
Yes. Be a Voice is actually the ones that put on the human trafficking, and it is going to be a statewide campaign against human trafficking. As long as there's a demand for the supply, we're going to keep battling it. But if we can at least get into our schools and start educating our kids, because they're even finding 15-year-old boys pimping out 15-year-old girls. You don't just need to be careful of an older man dating a younger girl. They're finding the challenge strictly across the same age groups as well. So yes, there is a campaign starting to go on, and more of us organizations that team together, Vegas Youth Ambassadors with the Go2 Foundation, with the Embracing Project, with Be a Voice, the more of us that come together and educate, slowly we'll start impacting and educating our kids.
What about in Carson City? Are we getting any help from the legislature at all in this human trafficking thing?
It's starting. It's a process that's in the start. The biggest thing, like we said, is the statewide campaign, the Be a Voice right now, to get the education out and to try to get permission to start going into schools. Be a Voice is now going to start sending educational flyers. They got approval to send educational flyers into the schools to go home with the students, so then they can take them to their parents.
Is it possible that it's going to take a huge education effort? That this is, you're starting from square one. We saw a couple of the specials on TV locally here in the last couple of weeks relative to human trafficking, and man, it's scary, scary stuff. But is it going to take an education campaign?
Yes. It's the more people that jump on it. Education, we believe through education we can prevent. We might not be able to stop the demand and stop and get to those people right now, but at least we can educate our kids on being victims and our older adults on being victims, and get it out there that they're not alone. If they are approached with these items, that there's places to go for help. There's resources that they can have to get that help.
What about law enforcement? Do we have the laws on the books right now to prosecute those who deal in human trafficking, whether it be sexual, whether it be workplace related? Do we have the laws on the books now, or do we need more?
We need more. We definitely do have some in place, but we need more. The problem that we have also is that some of the women who are in human trafficking, they're rated, some of them labeled as prostitutes, and then they're charged with the crime, and then they're released. But what about the rehabilitation, helping them get out of that lifestyle? And harsher punishments definitely for the pimps, and any other type of human trafficker will help, is the only thing that will help to suffice it.
Okay, tell me about the event then. Coming up on Friday, 6 p.m. Give me the who, what, where, when, why.
It is at 6 p.m. It's a human trafficking forum by Vegas Youth Ambassadors and the Go2 Foundation. At 6 p.m., you would RSVP to Vegas Youth Ambassadors. You can find us on Facebook, or you can also contact me at 702-205-9511. We are, and then we will, once you...
Go ahead.
It's at a private location, so therefore when you RSVP, we will give you the location of where it's at. For this event.
And why do you want it to be private? I'm just curious.
It's not that it's a private event. It's just at a private residence, a big home. So we didn't put it on social media, except for to those who RSVP. And that way we can keep track of the number of people who are coming and make sure that the event is sustainable for all the people who are interested.
And who is it you're hoping will show up on Friday? Is it parents? Is it kids? Is it a mix? What is it?
Both. Parents, kids, law enforcement, anybody who wants to be educated.
Well, this is fascinating, and it's a problem. We know it's a problem. We just don't know yet how big a problem, and what we keep learning is that it's becoming bigger and bigger. I've talked with cops about this, and they'll admit they don't know how big it really is yet, but they're still trying to get their arms around it. Congratulations. This is a great first step, and hopefully there will be more. The Vegas Youth Ambassadors, together with the Go-To Foundation, a human trafficking forum. And again, if they want more information, they want to RSVP, where do they go?
They can go to our Facebook, Vegas Youth Ambassadors, or they can contact me directly on 702-205-9511.
That's the voice of Chantelle Harless and Kimmy Monaco. Thank you both for coming in. I do appreciate it. This should be a great event.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Stick around. We got a lot more to do. We're going to be talking about the State of the Union, but we're going to be talking about it for a